Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back in to the Fake Spike Podcast with Alan Cole. T, my guy.
What's up, buddy?
Why don't you tell him what we got going on this week?
Predictions. Welcome to our Thursday podcast. Thursday is essentially just predictions for week 13, I think.
Week
I want to
13.
say we're week 13.
We're on week 13, yeah.
Yeah, see, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, buddy. Week 13 predictions is pretty much it. We touch on a lot of other stuff on the Tuesday podcast. So if you guys are watching this one and you're new here, go check out this week's podcast from Tuesday. If you guys want to hear us talk about all of the news in the NFL.
Last week Tyler went 8-7 in his predictions. I went 10-5.
Yeah, I didn't do so hot there.
We both had the Steelers winning against the Colts on Monday night, and somehow they came away with a victory in that. So I do have to say Kenny Pickett is looking a lot better than he did a few weeks ago. He's a rookie. That's what happens. Some other questionable parts of that team, like the offensive line and not wanting to stop that tight end named Woods for some reason. Anyway.
Happens.
Yeah, it was an all right game. Can't complain too much.
I mean, you could, but who's right?
Right. So you want to hop right into this week's predictions?
Yeah, you got them written down?
I have the matchups written down, and I have where I write our picks down.
All right, so we're all good to go then.
Can you pull up the lines for me?
I can pull up the Bleacher Report ones that are listed there.
That'll do it. All right. So on Thursday Night Football, we have the Buffalo Bills traveling to New England to take on the Patriots.
Bills are minus 3.5. So there's set to win by 3.5. Or the lines are to win by 3.5. I apologize. Not set to win.
So the Bills are projected to win?
Yeah, so it says Bills listed negative 3.5.
So yes, they're projected to win by 3.5 points. All right, so
my English got a little sketchy there for a second. I apologize.
No worries. Let's see here. The Bills and the Patriots are both having a pretty good season so far. I think the Bills are the better team here. The only thing the Patriots really have going for them is they got a pretty damn good head coach. Mac Jones doesn't look terrible. Defense is holding up pretty well.
Couple of injuries on Buffalo's team. Morris, Dawkins, Miller.
Ramondre Stevenson looks pretty good for the Patriots.
Right. I'm going to go Bills on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Bills. I think the Bills will. Oh, man, I don't know. It's here. The Patriots might cover. I'm just going to go with the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills to win minus 3.5. All right, so the next matchup we have is the Packers heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. And the Bears owner, Aaron Rodgers, might actually miss this game. From what I heard, he was on the Pat McAfee show saying he was going to play, but I think he's still listed as questionable.
So both teams are dog shit. The Packers Vegas lines are to win by 4.5. I'm gonna go. It is in Chicago,
right,
but I'm still gonna go with the Packers.
Let's see here. You said the Packers minus 4.5.
Yes.
See so Packers minus 4.5. They must think Aaron Rodgers is going to play then. Is Justin Fields going to play is the real question.
On Bleacher Report, I'm not showing any injuries.
It's not showing any injuries?
No.
Inside Chicago Bears corner. Okay, that's about him having epilepsy. That's okay. All right, so I'm assuming both players are going to play. You're taking the Packers minus 4.5.
That's what it says. Yep.
All right. I think I'm going to take the Bears plus the points. What do you think about that?
I think the Bears are a worse team.
I agree, but I think the Bears will cover that spread. So the Packers can win, but if they win by less than 4.5, I take the W there. Make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
All right. This is the first week that we're actually looking at. We looked at the lines before, but we kind of just went with who we thought was going to win the game.
Yes.
I'm actually taking the wins, the spread into consideration here. All right. Next up, we have the Steelers heading to Atlanta to take on the Falcons.
-1 for the Falcons. They're set to win by 1. I'm gonna say Steelers win that one.
-1. Yeah, I'm. Look at you liking all the road dogs. Let's see here.
Oh, you didn't know? No, they're
Yeah,
they're
not
2-1 in the last 3 games since their bye. So, and one of those wins was against the Colts, which isn't like crazy impressive, but I don't know, I feel like they're kind of getting into a rhythm now.
Let's not act like the Falcons are really good here. Do they have 4 or 5 wins?
They're 5-7 on the season.
5-7. The crazy part about them being 5-7 is they're tied for the division lead. Man, that division stinks. No offense, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to win that, especially if you give them the -1. Let's see here. Like I said, Kenny Pickett's looking better. Freiermuth is still good. George Pickens looks like a beast of a wide receiver. Deontay Johnson's starting to get more involved. Now, if only the offensive coordinator wouldn't call the same plays 6-7 times a game. There was legitimately video from Monday night. You could hear a Colts player after they made a tackle for like a 4-yard loss going, it's the same plays. So, Matt Canada, like, stop picking Madden plays here, man. Change it up. Anyway,
I play.
Let's see here. Next up, we have the New York Jets, led by the fearless leader, the best quarterback in the league, Mike White. That, for legal reasons, that's a joke. But no.
Vikings. It's home for the Vikings. The Viking spread is -3 for the Vikings, so it's set to win by 3, or the spread's to win by 3. I'm going Vikings.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Vikings as well, -3. The Jets looked really good last week with Mike White. They were at home though, and the new quarterback thing is only going to work for so long. Although I do think Mike White is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. I just don't think they're going to be able to beat the Vikings this week. The Vikings are 9-2 for a reason. You said the line was -3, right?
-3 for the Vikings, yes, sir.
All right, so next up we have the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Detroit. What do you got for that game, boss?
Jaguars, so it shows Detroit -1.
Detroit -1. That's going to be a close game. What are your thoughts on that game?
Both 4-7 teams, but it's home. The Jaguars do have some decent players, but so do the Lions. But I got to go with the home team on this one. When you're playing with dog shit, you just kind of flip for home.
Jacksonville had a big victory last week against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
I think they
that
might
was
be
one.
riding a little high on that, and I think they're gonna take a tumble against the Lions this week. Lions won 3 games in a row before they ran into the Bills last week, so they're not a horrible team. On last year, this would have been 2 really, really bad teams against each other. Same thing with the year before. But honestly, I think both these teams are looking up. But definitely, I'm going Lions -1. Give me that home team. Let's see here. Next up, we have the Tennessee Titans heading to Philadelphia to take on the 10-1 Eagles.
Tennessee Titans. I gotta find that game because they're out of order from the way you wrote them down. On Titans Eagles home game. Eagles -5.5. I am going with the home team, not because of the home team, but because the home team is the Eagles. I think the Titans are a good team. I just think the Eagles are a better team, even though they've been kind of slippery in how they've approached the game the last couple weeks since the loss to the Commanders.
The Eagles -5.5. That's kind of a big line. The Titans are a pretty good team. They lost last week against the Bengals. Let's see here. Eagles. The Eagles are a better team, in my opinion. I think that's pretty factual, actually. They got
Eagles.
the better. They got the better line. I think the only thing they don't have better, player wise, is probably the running back. Definitely give me Derrick Henry over Miles Sanders, and I might take Vrabel over Nick Sirianni. There we go. Jeez.
Where's your Heisman times?
But head coaching is close. Overall, I think the Eagles are the better team. And man, I don't know. 5.5 is a pretty good spread there.
It for sure is.
Give me the Eagles minus the points. That's going to be a close one. I'm very curious as the line on this one. The Browns are heading to Houston to take on the Texans, and the return of Massage Boy.
You said Browns and Texans, you said?
Browns going to the Texans.
Yeah, Browns -7.
What?
That's what they have.
Really? They think the Browns are that much better of a team than the Texans? I know the Texans are dog shit, but
I don't know when they update their odds, but that's what Bleacher Report shows. There's some other pretty big gaps there too.
Deshaun Watson, aka Massage Boy, hasn't played football in nearly 2 years. I think I don't know how he's going to look coming back. I know he went to training camp and he's been practicing and stuff, and he played in a preseason game. But there's nothing quite like the regular season. So I think I'm going to take the Texans plus the points. Are you taking the Browns outright?
I'm gonna go Browns.
You taking the Browns outright? You think they're going to win by over 7?
I don't think they're gonna win by 7. So what is that? Browns minus the points.
Yeah.
I'm a little shaky on how this communication works as far as the lines go, but I'll figure it out.
-7 or -7.5?
-7 for the Browns.
-7. So let me explain this to you again. How this works is it says Browns -7.
Right, so they're set to win by 7. But what I'm saying is, I don't think they're gonna win by 7. So
You don't think
that
they're
part
going
is the part that I'm confused. Like, how do I communicate that properly? That's what I'm confused about. I understand the
to?
lines.
You would take the Texans plus the points.
Okay.
What?
So if the Browns are gonna win by 3, we'll say it's Texans plus points.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. There's my answer.
So therefore, basically, this is saying the Browns are starting out at -7. Are they still going to beat the Texans, even though they started out at -7 instead of 0?
Texans plus the points. I think the Browns will win by like 3.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans plus the points as well. 7 is a little bit of a big line for a quarterback that hasn't touched an NFL field during the regular season in 2 years.
Yeah, it's a big gap there.
And it's for a new team, a new coach, a new player. Granted, like I said, he had training camp with this team. He had training camp with his coach, these players, but like regular season's a different beast,
So who do we got next?
even against a dog shit team like the Texans. Next up, we have the Commanders heading to New York to take on the Giants.
Commanders minus 2.5.
Commanders minus 2.5.
Yeah, that feels wrong though. Like that feels like it shouldn't. It should be the other way around. I'm going Giants. I think the Commanders are going to get smoked in this game. It's at home in New York. The Commanders aren't that great of a team. They're showing a good record, and they've had some crazy wins like against the Eagles and everything. But like out of the last 3 wins, it was the Eagles, Texans, and Falcons.
You said Commanders minus 2.5 or plus 2.5?
Minus 2.5 on the Commanders. So I'm going Giants. I think the Commanders are going to get smoked.
Taking the Giants outright.
Yeah.
So here, both these teams have their questions. I think the Commanders have a little bit better of a team overall, but I think it's going to be really close. Give me the Giants. I think Saquon might be able to run on this team. Even if they have Chase Young back, I think Saquon's going to be able to run a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Next up, we have the Denver Broncos heading to Baltimore to take on the Ravens.
Ravens, -8.5.
-8.5. Oh my God.
I'm gonna go Broncos plus points. I think the Ravens are gonna win by a touchdown, but they're not gonna get the other, couple points that are required to win that line.
That's a big line.
So I'm going Broncos plus points.
The Broncos plus the points. Okay,
I think they'll win by 6, 7 points. I don't think they're gonna win by 8.5 though. I think they'll get close. I just don't think it's possible. It's not impossible. Just
and the Broncos have been absolutely like Russell Wilson. Let's not say the Broncos. Let's say Russell Wilson has played absolutely terrible this year. People are trying to blame it on Hackett. I mean, I don't think he's been doing a fantastic job as head coach, but he can't throw the football for Russell Wilson. When a player's wide open and Russ either misses him or doesn't even look over there, that's on Russ. But 8.5 is a lot against that defense. Oh man, I think Ravens are going to win this, but give me the Broncos plus the points.
Ravens have a good team this year. So, well, I mean, they are a good team.
They have the Ravens defense is pretty respectable. Mark Andrews is a beast. Unfortunately, their wide receivers are hurt, so makes the team look a little shaky. Next up, this should be a pretty good game. I'm going to guess the spread is under 3 points. We have the Dolphins heading to the 49ers.
49ers -4.
-4, really?
You were close.
I'm wondering if that's got something to do with the injuries.
Bleacher Report's not showing any injuries. I don't know if this app just hasn't updated yet, but not showing any injuries at the moment.
See here. I know Christian McCaffrey was a little bit hurt last week. I think he was
He
anyway.
got pulled off questionable though. I was just looking at him today.
All right.
It's gonna be a tough game though because both teams, San Fran's coming off a 4-game win streak, and Miami's coming off a 5-game win streak. But it is in San Francisco, so
Did you say 49ers -4?
yeah.
I think
Provided by DraftKings Sportsbook.
I'm gonna take the Dolphins outright to win this. The Broncos, that's last matchup. The 49ers are a good team, but I just think the Dolphins are a little bit better.
I'm gonna agree with you on the Dolphins. I'm gonna take them. I like the 49ers. I like what they're doing. I like the improvements they've made. I just the Dolphins are a better team.
Do you have the total points scored for that game? Like should be over under 46 and a half. I wouldn't be surprised if that hit the over. The 49ers have a good defense. The Dolphins' defense is a little questionable, but Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle or something else, man. Did you say who you're taking?
Dolphins.
Dolphins, straight up.
I think both teams are good. I like what the 49ers are doing. I just think the Dolphins are a better team.
Right. Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks heading to LA to take on the Rams.
Yeah, it has the Seahawks -7.5.
Seahawks -7.
Which is also another pretty big spread, but considering the other team is the Rams, I mean the Seahawks aren't that crazy good either, you know?
They started out pretty hot. They've had a rough couple weeks, but the Rams are horrible, man. Like I heard Aaron Donald's questionable. Cooper Kupp's out. Allen Robinson's out. Tyler Higbee goosed last week, got 0 receptions.
He's been shaky this whole season. Off and on, off and on, off and on.
Right. Matt Stafford's probably still not going to play. I mean, personally, if I was the Rams head coach, like, what's the point of even playing him? Might as well let him rest. He doesn't have any weapons to throw the ball to. They're not going to make the playoffs. Like, what's the point at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Rams plus points on this one.
Do you have Stafford as out or no?
I will look.
Yeah. So the Seahawks are -7. I can't.
Rams are considering shutting him down, but right now he's still rolling.
All right. Yeah, I can't justify taking the Rams even plus the 7.
I'm going Rams plus points.
You're going Rams plus the points.
Yeah. I think the Seahawks will win by like 4.
All right. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, or as a YouTuber I watch calls them, the Los Angeles Android Chargers, heading to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders.
It has the Chargers -1.5.
The Raiders, you said?
Chargers.
Okay. That makes more sense.
I'm gonna go Chargers to cover. That means they're gonna win by more than 2, correct? Just so I'm on the same page.
I believe so.
Okay, so I'm going Chargers to win by more than 2.
I'm fairly new at this lingo also, but
oh, fair enough. Well, you're a little bit farther along than I am either way.
Right. I'm gonna go with the Chargers as well. The Raiders had an absolutely incredible game last week. Josh Jacobs went absolute freaking wild, man. And he was hurt going into that game too. He got the questionable tag early on before that game.
But the
So
last two games they played, they fought in overtime to win. That's got to also say something about they're getting beat down. And it wasn't even against crazy good teams that they fought in overtime to win. I mean, the Seahawks, pretty good, solid squad, but the Broncos was the other team they had to fight to win in overtime. So,
right. Chargers beat the Cardinals last week on a 2-point conversion at the end of the game to win.
that was
So
close. 10 minutes.
And the Cardinals aren't exactly crazy good either. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Me too. Chargers to cover.
All right, next up, this is gonna be a pretty good game. I'm guessing the Lions under 3. I wouldn't be surprised if it was under 2. Chiefs heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals.
Chiefs minus 1.5.
Chiefs minus 1.5. That sounds like a pretty good game. I'm hoping I get that game on my local channels so
Chiefs
I can watch
cover.
it. Taking the Chiefs. So you're saying the Chiefs are going to win outright?
Yeah.
I think you're saying it wrong. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm new here.
Me too. Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are going to win by more than 2 points.
Let's see here.
Maybe 3. Maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
But not. They're going to win by more than 2. They might be win by 1.75. It might be that close.
I'm going to take the Bengals on this one. I think the Bengals can win it because Jamar Chase is supposed to be back. He's crazy. T. Higgins is insanely good. Joe Mixon should be back. It's going to be a really freaking close game. I'm just going to go with the Bengals. Just a feeling I got.
Well, we got to have stuff to disagree on. So even if you're wrong.
Colts heading to Dallas to take on the Cowboys.
Cowboys, -11.
Oh, my God.
Colts plus points. The Cowboys are going to win that game. It's not even a question. They're not going to win the game by that much, though.
You're taking the Colts plus the points?
Yes, sir. They'll win by a touchdown. That's for sure. Shit, they might even get a fucking field goal. They might win by 10 points. They're not going to win by 11.
That's a good line. That's a really good line. Think about what they did to the Vikings a couple weeks ago. I think the Colts can hold this. I have Jonathan Taylor running enough to the point where the Cowboys can't score enough to have 11 more points. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be a close game. I think I'm going to side with you here and take the Colts plus the points. Although if it was 9, I'd probably be taking the Cowboys. And the last game of the week, Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints head to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Bucks -4.
Bucks -4.
Saints.
Who you got, buddy? Who you got?
I got to have the Saints, buddy.
Do you want the points?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win that game. All right. Sorry we had to rush it a little bit at the end there, guys, but that's all we got for you this week. You want to say the outro there, bud?
Yes, sir. If you guys enjoyed the podcast, check out our one that we did every Tuesday. It's a recap of the week prior, so week 12 in this case, plus all the news across the entire league. Cole provides that and informs me on most of it at the time. I'll be honest with you guys. You guys can check us out on social media, TikTok, Instagram, all that fun stuff, and YouTube Shorts. We're posting YouTube Shorts. We should be doing it once a day, but we're doing it like 2 to 4 times a week. If you guys listen to this on an audio platform, please consider leaving us a 5-star rating. We'd greatly appreciate it. And we hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace out.
Peace.